this loud in my ears. Welcome back to episode 2.
Episode 2, season 1.
Season 1.
Faith Unlimited podcast.
Yes, this track is hot in my ears, but it's all good. We're going to get that figured out. But I'm so glad to be doing this. What about you?
2024, Happy New Year.
Man, New Year. So if you're listening to this in 2025, 2026, and beyond, we let the cat out the bag. We record this in 2024, in January at some point. But yeah. So, yeah, what are we talking about today?
Wow, today we are talking about benefits of leaving your hometown.
Okay.
First off, though, before we get started, Happy New Year.
Yes, it is an amazing new year.
Fun fact I will share about Darnell is his birthday is on New Year's Day.
It is. What a blessing.
So happy birthday. And
thank you.
Happy New Year. I'm glad to be back. We made it back to episode 2.
Yes. We getting consistent.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for the new year and to see what all happens with the podcast, and praying everybody have a great 2024.
Yes.
But we are talking about benefits of leaving your hometown.
Benefits.
I after sharing a little bit of our story prior on the last episode, I think a lot of people know now that we relocated a few times. We left Atlanta, went to Phoenix to LA, and now we're in Florida. And so we just want to share benefits. I know a lot of people may be wrestling, or maybe God has placed on some people's hearts to move out of state, move out of the city. I don't know. And maybe this is the confirmation you've been waiting for, because I know for me, I'm always like, Lord, give me a confirmation that this is what you want us to do. And so maybe this is something that will help you make the decision that maybe God has placed on your heart when you hear the benefits of leaving your hometown.
Yes. Then there are benefits. There are pros and cons. We're talking about the benefits.
We're gonna talk about the pros. We'll talk about the cons.
We'll talk about the cons. Off the top of your head, what was the biggest con about leaving?
The biggest con for me, the first time was just like leaving everybody. I had never been out of the state, so just like leaving and starting over for me is like so frustrating. Sometimes you got to find a place to live, a new job.
Yeah.
And so to me, that would be like a con, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having to start over and get all of that, like finding jobs and finding homes again and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I would. My biggest con would be, I remember when I had a training to do for a new job in Phoenix, and at the time Paris was kind of young. She couldn't stay at home by herself.
Oh yeah.
So not having anyone to be able to call.
Yeah, to baby. I think another con, just going back to what I said about, like, especially if you're going to a different state, like you almost have to maybe be back and forth looking at places to live, or if you can't get back and forth, you're left to trying to figure out stuff online and all that kind of stuff. So it can get crazy, but I think if it's something that God is calling you to do, He will work it out. I know we've seen Him. Yeah. We've seen Him work it out. I think that leads us to the first benefit is growing in your faith. Yes.
Definitely. One of the benefits of leaving your hometown is definitely it will grow your faith. Man. Expound on that a little bit.
For us, and I mean, you can tell me if you agree. I'm just speaking for both of us, but I don't know if I would have. I don't think my faith grew to another level when I left, and I'm like, I feel like I needed that to see God. Like, that is where my belief, like, I believed, but that is where my faith just got a lot deeper, and I got to see God just in a new way.
Yeah.
As a provider, as a friend, as a father, like, in all those different areas. So I just believe that because we had each other, but we needed God to come through in a lot of ways. And so we had to solely depend on him to
Right.
open some doors that we couldn't open on our own.
Yeah.
So I feel like, our faith grew really deep in the Lord
Yeah.
during that time.
I think to a certain extent, you always, when you're in your hometown and you're around family and you're around, people that you always have somebody that can step in to help and do different things. And so, which goes to my con, when you don't have that, it's like, okay, God, you said you'll never leave us nor forsake us.
Right. You start digging in your word.
You brought us here.
Scriptures.
You brought us here, so you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to do something. And I remember that one instance when I had that training. We were like, okay, well, we'll just have to. We don't have the money to. Obviously, I'm about to get a new job. We don't have the money to, but we'll just have to figure out if we can put pairs in a daycare or like some kind of daycare. We weren't cool with necessarily people being in our house at that time. And I don't even know if that was a thought. If we could have hired a babysitter. I don't know if we knew about care.com.
We were just trying to move as fast as we could. Yeah. The training was so fast.
Yeah. So she only had to do it for one day. And so we found that daycare that would take pairs for one day. And, I think they usually charge.
It was like 100 and something.
Yeah, like 100 and something a week for somebody her age. And I remember the lady said, how about this will just be a trial, so you don't pay anything, and I'll have her just with me. And we were like, what?
And I remember I instantly started crying. I bet the lady was like, what is wrong with her?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a nice place. And
yeah.
Shout out to, I don't remember their name.
Me either. But I had the same moment, even separate from that, when we were in Arizona and we started having issues with our car. And the car just started.
It was called Tutor Time.
Tutor Time.
I want to make sure shout out to Tutor Time off of Camelback.
For being a blessing to
yes,
us.
Off Camelback in Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know who you are. Tutor Time. You were a real one. I don't know the lady's name, but dang, I remember that was a minute ago.
Yeah, you got good memory. I said that last time. But yeah, I had a moment. I was driving the car. That's when our car was just like randomly cutting off. They couldn't find out what was wrong with it. And I just remember driving down the street, and I think I had dropped you off at work, and I was like upset with God. And I'm like, we're here. We're trying to trust you. Now our car's breaking down. If I was back home in Atlanta, I wouldn't have to worry about this. I could call my mom. I could call somebody. And I just remember the Lord speaking to me like, will you just trust me? And it was almost a thing where I felt like God was saying, this is why I took you away, because I need you to learn. I need you to learn to depend on me. Because the first thing I thought about is, if I was here, it would be easier. But God's like, no, I need you to depend on me. So in that moment, I think for me, I figured out, okay, God needed me to leave so that he can show me that I don't need anybody but him. We don't need any, he sends people but at the end of the day, we just need him. We need him. He has everything. He will provide everything that we need. So I think that definitely when you leave your hometown, you're in just like a really weird space.
Yeah.
Because you have to learn, like, okay, I don't have these friend group or this family around. Now I got God. And then you learn to depend on him. And that grows your faith.
And I think that is actually 1 and 2, because the second benefit of leaving your hometown was you grow as an individual. Yeah.
And it teaches you to be independent on God. And also for yourself, like, man, I know even to this day, after still having been to all these different places, I still sit back like, wow, I did it. I actually left in my hometown, and I'm okay with, like, it feels good to know, like, you can accomplish that. So
yeah,
that definitely is a benefit.
Yeah, I think also growing as an individual. I mean, me being the head of our house, I definitely had to really like me. I'm a hustler. I'm gonna do whatever it takes,
Right.
and I think I still had that mentality.
Yeah.
But I had to definitely have faith in God that hey God, I know I have no control over this. I have no control. Um, I don't remember getting down a whole bunch
Yeah.
for the Phoenix move. Um, when things, oh yes, I did. The very first when I was working at
Oh yeah.
and I'm sorry, when I was working for that place, and we decided to part ways with each other.
Yeah. That was
When I knew it was coming, I decided to take extra vacation
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time I ever lost a job.
That's crazy. And you know what? This is not even on the list of ideas that we had that were benefits, but I will throw this in there, just you saying like head of household type thing, you had to trust God in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're relocating with your spouse, it will it could bring you closer together. I think our trust for each other grew a lot more being away. I feel like for me it brought us closer. It helped us trust each other. It definitely helped me trust you, like, okay, as the head of the household, to lead and
Yeah,
know that you were being led by God. And it caused me to like pray more, pray for you more.
yeah,
Because I know you do, like, before any move we make, you are like the big researcher. Like,
yeah,
you've researched everything to a T. I do a little bit and I almost just go along for the ride. But I don't take that for granted either, because like after like every move after that, it's almost like I know I'm gonna be okay.
yeah,
Like, I know God and I know Darnell has done everything that he can do to make sure we are good, and that's hard work.
yeah.
Head of the household is hard work, so it caused me to even have to pray for you even more.
Yeah, and it's funny because this last move, it actually was harder for me. And you were so like, oh, I know God is doing it, so don't worry about that. Don't think about that. And I was like, man, but I don't. This time, like, people are talking slow, and the
Yeah.
doors. I had a lot of conversations, but nothing is like concrete. And so,
Right. But that comes with being the head of the household.
yeah,
It felt like a lot more pressure. I knew that God was going to come through. How, I was not sure.
yeah,
But I know it was a lot more pressure for you. So, ladies, wives, you're traveling, you're moving with your spouses, pray. And pray for guidance and strength for them, because it's a lot of work.
yeah. And I think it did make us grow as individuals, but it also allowed us to our next point, meet new people and build new community with new people.
Ooh, we've met so many cool
Man,
people. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Just from shout outs from the last one that we talked about, Clarence and Camicia. Oh man, we
Yes.
met them, and then we went to visited their church, met some people that were cool. But
Yeah.
we met the church that I played for a little bit.
Yeah.
I ended up meeting
We met some
the
cool
worship leader. Ended up being a great community to
Yeah.
us, and
And I think some people were like in our lives just for that season. Like, they
Yeah.
were a part of our stories.
Yeah.
We might not talk to them now, but I think even just in that season, they were good people and they were a part of our story.
yeah.
But we met some.
I mean, for
We
me,
have a lot of still people that we talk to from our different moves. Anyway.
yeah, I think for me, if you were a friend to me or a close friend to me at any point, we at least still friends on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
you
got.
might get a call. You might get a call every every year or
Every
something
now
like
and
that.
then,
Every
now
now
and
and
again.
then. And if I don't call you, I apologize. I call you if I don't call you. Listen to this podcast, and I haven't called you since I left your state or city where I met you. Forgive me.
But yeah, you get a chance to build a lot of cool relationships. I know.
Yeah.
I think LA. Well, Phoenix too, but LA, like we just
Dre
talked.
and Mallory and
Yeah, and like now, like we met Dre and Mallory in Phoenix, and now years later, like we're their like two of their kids, we're their
godparents.
godparents.
Yeah.
So it's like those are special
Yeah,
relationships.
and we met at work when I was working marketing for an auction
Yeah,
company.
yeah, and
I
now
met
it's
with Dre.
like
Yeah,
wow. So we still again we're their kids' godparents. So just those in LA was really cool. We got a chance
yeah,
to. LA was probably the most diverse place for
yeah.
me, and that was cool because we learned a lot. From I think that goes into another point that we have. Maybe I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I think the building community. I think we've taken a piece. So we might have had a certain amount of people in a friend group, but we've taken some and have stronger relationships with some.
yeah,
In each one of those places. So and that was cool. Yeah. Then our next point was we explore new places.
yes.
We get to explore, and you get to be a tourist in your new town.
We love to explore
For
everywhere
sure.
we go. Like, we are going to see what's out there.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to start, when you get to your new place, go to Instagram, TikTok, like, look up Google cool things to do, and just be intentional
Yes.
about exploring. That makes the transition fun, that makes the move fun. Like there's so many we've discovered so many small places that a lot of people that in LA, we had so many people to say, y'all have only been here a short time and you've seen more than I have, and I've been here all of my life.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be intentional though.
Yeah. I mean, for me, and definitely in Phoenix, I remember, and I'm just being humble, open, and transparent, like I always. Well, no, we watch a church that says it all the time. But I remember leaving I think it was called Weight Watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
leaving a Weight Watchers meeting because we was trying to do.
Yeah.
When you move, I don't know if you ever lived on the West Coast, but they are more about like being outdoors and
Yes.
being fit
Yes.
and like so. It is not it's a norm for people to be outdoors and doing things. And so we left a Weight Watchers thing and was like, we ain't gonna be the only ones out here not doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, let's go for a ride. Y'all want to go to Sedona?
Yep. And we just jumped in the car.
Jumped in the car. We wasn't dressed for it or
It was
nothing.
not planned. It was
wasn't
like 2
planned.
hours away.
Yep. And it was easy drive, but super cool. We never seen anything like it.
Yeah. And I would say, like, just do that. Everything doesn't have to be planned. Maybe you
Yeah.
get up on a Saturday and say, and that's another way to meet people
Yeah.
and build that community. And I think we're going to have a podcast for people that are like, I don't know how to build. We're going to talk about community.
That'd be good.
At some point. But yeah, be intentional. Make you a list. I remember telling one of our friends, make a list of places that you find on a small piece of paper, put it in a jar, and just pull it out once a week. Like, okay, I'm going to this place this week. But you do have to be intentional. Again, like I said, I think that is one of the highlights for me is that we have just adventured out. It
Yeah.
could be so simple.
And it was stuff that some stuff I almost felt like we had no business being there.
Right.
Because everyone around us didn't look like us.
Right.
And
right.
some of these places we went to, I remember going to, what's that city? Was it Prescott?
Yes.
We went to Prescott.
Oh my gosh, yep.
And I did not see at the time, I did not see a lot of people that looked like us.
Yep. But we met some owners of a store there, and like they were so kind. They were so nice as we end up going back again, taking them some of our Faith Unlimited
God is faithful and
shirts.
Faith Unlimited shirts.
And I had a picture if I have it, if I find it, I can put it in there. But
video.
it was fun.
It was super cool. It was good food. We went in a restaurant in Prescott.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm gonna keep on saying nobody looked like us.
Nobody.
And so you have to watch this YouTube to figure out what we look like. But nobody was the same complexion as us.
Yeah.
And we went in that restaurant that somebody said, hey, can I buy you some drinks?
Yep.
We want to buy you drinks. And I
Yep.
was like, I don't drink, but we'll take sodas. Like, I'm buying them then.
Yeah. And you have to, I know sometimes they can make people uncomfortable
Yeah.
when they're in spaces with people that don't look like them.
Yeah.
But you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because you don't know who these people are, who you will meet,
Yeah.
what kind of great relationships you can, what kind of great relationships can come out of it. So be comfortable being uncomfortable if you're in places where nobody looks like you.
And I will say, you just be kind. Go in there like you're supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go in there like you own the place. Sometimes, people can go in places like they own it. Don't go in there like you own it, but go in there like you're supposed to be there, like
Be
you're a
friendly.
regular, and be friendly and do. We have never been met with. At that time, we had never been met with any kind of negative reaction. There was looks for
Yeah.
sure. We didn't take them negatively.
Right. Don't assume.
And so exactly. So like somebody in this bar, in Prescott, Arizona, gun toting, Prescott, Arizona, and somebody was like, "Hey," and I nodded and gave a smile, hello, and then I said, "I want to buy you drinks." I don't know why,
Right.
but I pray that it was because we shared the love of Christ with them.
Yeah.
We actually have a little video that'll be for a sneak peek. Maybe we should do a Patreon or something.
That would be cool.
We have a video of that experience right after that experience. I just thought about that.
You have all the
I
videos.
need to
Now,
find that.
let me tell you. Okay. I am the introvert.
That's
Okay.
the interlude.
I am the introvert. Darnell is the extrovert. So for my extroverts, my husband asks a lot of questions
Yeah.
to people. I am like chilling in the back. I will engage a little bit in conversation, but it takes me a while. But asking questions and being like, where are you? If somebody comes, like, where are you from? What's cool around? Like, just asking random people questions. Like, you've asked people in the store,
Yeah.
where are the best hot wings?
Yeah.
That led us to the best hot wings. Where's the best ice cream? Where's
Yeah.
the best, whatever your thing is. But be okay with asking questions. To ask questions that I've learned and I've seen based off what Darnell does. People are willing to tell you and talk to you. People are willing. They are not like, like you're weird. No, they will tell you.
And all looks aren't dirty looks.
Yes.
All looks, it just could be a look.
Sometimes we assume.
Yeah, I'm admittedly saying I have said this person looking at me like da 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 da. They looking at me like that, and then we just started talking, and I was like, "Dang, Lord, please forgive me." Like, it's not.
Sometimes we're insecure. We assume
exactly. We assume certain things
that people are looking in a certain way when really it's not. They may want to have a conversation with you,
or they did. Maybe they did feel a certain way, but when I started talking, or when I asked them questions and stuff, then their barrier or whatever it was went down. I just believe that I told my wife and some people that know me, I feel like God called me to be a bridge builder, and I don't want to assume or just think the worst about every single person.
Right.
And so
that is how you're gonna build those cool relationships.
Yeah.
And exploring and meeting people and
a bonus.
What's the bonus?
Because we're talking about the exploring new places. You get to be a tourist. Man, there's so many free things.
Yes.
Many free things to do.
There is no reason. Like Google free things to do in this city.
Yeah.
And go do the free things. Like LA, so many free things.
Yeah. I will say I like living in towns that are moderately close to the water.
Yeah.
Because, and this was our thing in LA, we like, before we was moving there, we was like, we might be broke because it's more expensive than we ever lived.
Right.
And, the jobs are offering us less than what we were making.
Lord
but
Jesus.
At least the beach is close.
Right. The beach is closed, and there are a lot of other things that are free.
We could be broke, but we got a beach.
We might go spend $5, $10 on a sub sandwich, some chips,
a funnel cake, and split
take it out to the beach and just chill.
Yep.
Find the free things to do in your city because there is something everywhere. Whatever your thing is, just Google it. Like utilize Google.
And that's how when we were in LA, we lived in Torrance when we moved out there. And then when we lived in Torrance, we always visited Redondo.
Yep.
We always visited Redondo. We went there just to chill. Go get coffee. I didn't drink
Right.
coffee.
I
But
did.
Marquita, that was her happy place. If it was a
Yes.
rough day, let's get coffee, and then I can
Coffee
go
and go for a walk.
and go for a walk at the beach.
'Cause I think the
in
truth
Redondo.
is-
And then that's how we found that. We was like, we want to live in Redondo.
Yeah, that's exactly. Because I think that sometimes, when you move to a different place, your money might be a little funny.
Sometimes.
Depending on where you at. You try to get on your feet. You
Yeah.
just get to this new place. You got to get established. Maybe, job, whatever. So that doesn't mean you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Utilize Google and find the free stuff and
Yeah.
enjoy your new city or your new state.
Yeah, I'll put it in perspective why we keep saying money was funny. When we left Atlanta before moving to LA, now there was a Phoenix 6-month Phoenix stint in between, but in Atlanta we were paying $1,300
Yes.
and moved to LA to pay $3,000.
Yes. This was just,
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. The first one wasn't $3,000. It was $23,000.
and then the next one went to 2,700.
Yes,
And this is just rent, okay?
Just
this
rent.
is not including utilities, car note, and stuff that we had at the time.
yes,
So yeah, you might have to utilize the free stuff,
for sure.
but you can still have a good time.
For sure, we did every single time. And LA was so cool, and now we're in Florida. LA was so cool because every weekend we could pretty much just go to another city,
Right.
just another beach city.
Right.
And so it might be Hermosa Beach this week. It might be Manhattan Beach next week.
Right.
It might be Long Beach next week. It might be
Right.
Huntington Beach. That we just kept going down to all the beaches.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we had a good time.
We had a
and
great
enjoyed
time.
it. So we stayed on this point for a long time because it is an important one. Explore. You get to explore.
Yeah,
a new
that
place.
makes the move
That's
better,
super
more
beneficial about
exciting.
leaving your town. You don't know these places where other people might take them for granted. You're brand new.
Yeah.
You can look at them with fresh eyes, like, oh man, this is cool.
Yeah, I agree. Get out, experience, explore.
And the next point was, it gives you a new perspective. Mm-hmm. I think it, being around when we were in LA and being around a lot of Asian
Yeah,
people,
we learned so much.
learned so much. Learned how ignorant I was
Me too.
to a lot of different things. I went to school. I looked history and stuff like that, but we didn't know the depths of
Yes.
certain things. We couldn't pick up accents. We
Yeah.
didn't know how to know people. What people probably are by their last name, or
Right.
know that they're Spaniard, Filipinos, and
Yeah.
Chinese Filipino. Like, we didn't know that there was.
I mean, coming from leaving, even going to Phoenix the first time, like just coming from the East Coast to the West Coast was like a big culture shock.
Yeah.
Everything was just completely different. The people, the landscape, everything was just different.
Yeah.
I think even being on the West Coast too, it was cool to see the difference in as far as like religion and faith.
Yeah.
Because
That's
in the East Coast is like we go to church, everybody go
At
to
least
church
in the Bible Belt.
at the Bible Belt, right? And so when you go to the West Coast, these people are like, and they're not afraid to say, "I don't go to church, I don't believe in it." Like, but the cool thing about it was they were willing to listen,
Yeah.
and they were willing to learn and entertain.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we shared with them. But I thought it was actually sobering to see, like, everybody is just not going to church.
Yeah.
These people really want to know. They
Yeah.
want to know more about what you believe and why you believe what you believe. So that was a good perspective shift too.
Yeah, and I think my to the other point, the perspective on what I thought, like just being in a gunslinging town in Arizona, in a small gunslinging town, on how people would be, and
Yeah.
people would be extra bold because
Yeah.
they know they got gun, and it just wasn't. It was kind. People were kind.
People were kind.
People. You realize how much some people. I mean, people are just like you.
Yeah. You
just
have
like
to
you.
get out. I think there's like beauty in getting outside of what you're used to.
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes and even us, when people hear Atlanta, they think about, because they have never been to Atlanta.
Yeah.
They go based off what they see on TV.
Yeah.
And so when they meet us, it's like, oh, y'all, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you got to get out
Yeah.
and see the world, see what else is around you, and experience other people, and you won't have such a shallow view of people.
Exactly.
So
We learned when we moved by. At first, when we moved into Phoenix, we were in the desert. And it's hot as heck.
yeah,
But I learned that I love seeing different landscape.
right.
You know, being raised in Atlanta, you see trees pretty much everywhere you go, and hills and trees and green. But I learned in Phoenix that I love seeing mountains. I love being able to
Yeah.
see, where I would, just see mountains. And it's funny because I learned my way around by how close the mountains look.
Yep. You
And
did.
so I learned, okay, this is north, south, east, west, how things are on the grid.
Yeah.
And so
did.
it's just super cool. I think the other perspective was when you leave your hometown and go live somewhere that's nothing like your hometown, you get to say, oh, I thought I liked this place wherever I live. Maybe it's Jackson, Mississippi. I thought this is the only place I ever want to live.
Right.
But you never lived anywhere else, so you wouldn't know. And then you get there, it's like, you know what? I don't like where I am. Or
That's so true.
you can say, which is our next point, it makes you more grateful for your hometown
Right.
and family. It
I
could.
didn't know that I loved the beach
Yeah,
until
that's
I was
true.
able to have access to the beach. And
Yeah.
now it's almost like I want to always live close to the beach.
Yeah.
Another thing, like food.
Yeah.
Listen, if you ain't I fell in love with Korean fried
Oh,
chicken.
well, we skipping one. We skipping.
What we skipping?
We
Because
skipping,
I got to talk about this chicken for real.
makes you more grateful for your hometown.
Okay, let's go
family,
back to
and your
that.
culture. It was cool when we lived in Phoenix for 3 years.
3 years, yep.
And we visited Atlanta
Once in 3 years.
And so when we got back there, it was like, oh, we missed
know.
this. Some stuff we really missed, and some stuff we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't
But,
have to move. But I miss my family.
We missed family. All the family,
you know.
we definitely missed.
Yeah.
I thought I really missed American Deli.
But I
And
bet you did.
Yeah, it wasn't all that.
That wasn't that.
It-
Especially after you experience other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it does. A lot of times families just have issues, and you get that space and you just get time. You realize sometimes space is the better option so that when you're together, you can enjoy that time and you're more grateful and you're more present in that time. So I think leaving your hometown definitely can make you more grateful for your experience. Like a lot of things I'm grateful for my experiences in Atlanta, and I could take some of those things to these different states with me. And a lot of people, my accent, people say you got an accent and I love your accent, but to me it was just like, huh? But now it's like, oh yeah, I do that. It's cool.
And the culture we have it makes you grateful for your hometown and the culture.
And the culture.
Like you said, your accent. Another thing was, we are unapologetically black.
Yeah.
And so the black people that I met, one of the black guys I met in Arizona, just wanted to know stuff about Atlanta. And when I told him, my high school was all black. My principal was black. The mayor was black, like a lot of different. He's like, wow, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
He said sometimes our school, he's like, there was like a black school, but then still all the administration and all everything.
Right. They've never seen it.
And it's like, wow, yeah. And then some people was like, yeah, I've never been to a school. Some people like in LA is like, every school I've ever been to was mixed. So it's weird hearing that there was one that was all. I was like, yeah,
right.
I that's just what I was used to. And there would always be another friends like the rich part of town where they were from was technically they called it the white part of town. But me being from Atlanta, there was mansions in all black neighborhood mansions, and what I'm saying. And this is not any disparaging words towards white people or anybody else, but in Atlanta there is black excellence, and there's and I got to understand really what that meant.
So true.
People said it in Atlanta, but I didn't know. I got to see like, oh, that's why they say this, because I was like, why are we making it a race thing?
Right.
But I got to see that, in a lot of other towns,
They don't have
that. They don't see that.
And that makes you appreciate
it made me appreciate
where you came from.
Exactly, the culture and the area in which I was raised. Yeah, we had people driving Benzes to school and Escalades and all kind of stuff.
Places.
And they looked like me. So that was cool.
Well, when can I tell them about the Korean fried chicken?
Okay, the next point is sparks new interest. Maybe would that be there?
I don't know. Listen, let me tell y'all. When I went to LA, I tried Korean fried chicken for the first time, and I promise you, I don't want regular fried chicken. I'll eat it, but that was just an experience for me.
So let me tell the whole background.
Okay, go ahead.
So in Phoenix, we had a Korean barbecue place. That was the first time we experienced Korean barbecue.
Yes, that was the first time.
They had a dish called KFC.
Korean fried
chicken. And it stood for
chicken.
Korean fried chicken. So we from the South, KFC stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken. But they had a thing called KFC, and it was Korean fried chicken. We like, what is Korean fried chicken? And so we had it, and it was like these little, dark meat, cut up pieces of chicken, but it was good. It was like a sweet sauce on there. So then when we went to LA, and they had real places that was just Korean fried chicken, it was like,
it was a different experience.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Everybody that came to visit, I'm like, I got to take y'all. And everybody that came to visit that went and tried it loves it.
Yes.
Still want it to this day.
If you don't, you lying. You lying.
Get
you
out
lying.
of your hometown.
Yeah,
it's so much.
That was cool. We also had new interests. We started, like she said, she started like in the beach.
Yes.
In Atlanta, Quita was never really, there's no beach. So there was never like I want to go to the beach. And it wasn't until we moved and started going to the beach. And she's like, all I need is a beach.
That's it. That's it. A beach, cup of coffee. That's it.
Yeah. I always loved ping pong, even when I was a kid. I just wasn't good. So when I was in Phoenix, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club for a little bit. And they had a ping pong table, and I used to whoop them kids up. Now, like there was one or two that would beat me, but I used to whoop them kids. And I started liking ping pong for real.
Yeah.
And I felt a real paddle, and I was like, oh, this is how it's supposed to. It's not supposed to be just like this sandpaper. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Then we moved to when we moved to LA. I started playing. I convinced my campus pastor to get a ping pong table in the office. So we got the ping pong table and we played every day. We played over 300 games.
Yeah.
Over 300. Me and him played over 300 games, and I loved ping pong. Now this time, that was in LA. This time, when I was also out there, or it was another guy said, man, you should play pickleball. You should play pickleball.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that's fake tennis, fake table tennis. No, I'm not playing pickleball. Well, we just moved to Florida. And I was my wife found me a gym that had ping pong. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I really wanted to play so bad. And then, but when I was going to play ping pong one time, this lady was like, hey, you should come play pickleball. And I was like, no, I'm playing ping pong. And she was like, one day, and then next time she saw me, she said, one day I'm going to turn you into a pickleball player. And I said, let me go online and see how much a racket costs or a paddle costs or whatever you call it. And so I got me one little $30 situation. Actually, it was $30 for two. And so I got it, and I started going out there and play. And I was trash. I was like, wow. I said, but I am sweating like crazy. I love this. Like, I don't sweat as much in playing ping pong. I said, this pickleball has me sweating, running back and forth. And the next day, my legs would hurt like heck, but I could not stop playing. I cannot stop playing.
He cannot. In the present tense, he is still
I cannot stop playing. I love
pickleball.
it.
Has not played ping pong in months.
I like the way it makes me feel afterwards. It feels like I got some cardio in without feeling like I had to do wind sprints.
And that's like, even though, like, yes, they may have had that in our hometown, it was getting out of you may not have done it there. And so it's not that this stuff you may be able to search your hometown and it's there, but it's just something about being in a new environment, new people, new situation that makes you want to try new things.
I also got a bike when we lived in LA.
Got a bike.
Finally when we moved close to when we moved to Redondo, I was like, "Oh, I can ride the beach."
Yeah,
That would
our
be
daughter
cool.
got a bike,
and our
she
daughter
had
got
not
a
had
bike.
a bike.
And so we start riding the beach. I would ride the front of the beach, and like this. If you know anything better, put it in. I don't know if we have comments or send an email. There's nothing like riding the beach in California. There's nothing like it. Riding in between the mansions and the beach,
It just
and just chilling and seeing other people walking their dog and
and
having
just
the wind.
talking about that. Let me just what you just said about the mansions. Like this could be a bonus. I don't know, but that even makes you dream bigger.
Yeah, it does.
When you get around stuff that you've never experienced, even if it's not yours, like these mansions don't belong to us, but to walk the beach every day and see it,
Yeah,
it gives you a vision like, wow,
Yeah.
this could be possible. Or, but it's about just changing. I think we sometimes need to change our atmosphere
yeah,
and change our environment
yeah,
and what we see every day.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we had a lot of new interests.
Yeah. I
that
never
sparked-
thought I could live. I never thought I would live by the beach.
Yeah,
But after I moved to LA and I started seeing, I was like, man, I want to live by the beach. I just would say it, and then one day we saw a place 3 minutes away from the beach that was available.
Yeah.
So it's just changing, just being able to see different things will make you change your perspective and change how you think.
Yep. Yep. I can't even say that was even ever on the radar
No,
when I lived in Atlanta or even when I lived in Phoenix. I can't
never
even
dreamed
say
it.
I can't even see that when we moved to LA.
Yeah.
That we didn't even say we want to live by the beach. That wasn't even a thing. But when the church I was working for happened to be close to the water, we were like, okay, it's cool. At least we'll be able to drive, 15 minutes, 15 minutes and be at the beach. And then once we started being at the beach every week, it was like, it'd be cool if we live closer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a another God moment.
Yeah.
But just going into the last point that we have, y'all, is like a fresh start. You get to step away from old traditions and create your new traditions.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're locked into something because this is how we grew up. This is how our family operates. But I think for me, it's been so amazing I love my family, but to be away and create what we want to create for our family and our family values, our family traditions, that is so refreshing to be able to create something new you may not have a family, it might just be you, but you can go and create your own traditions and step away from old stuff that you grew up doing and do something different.
Yeah. You get to be, I think when you're in your hometown, and people know your family and they know you, and you're sometimes sometimes it's you that feels that way, and it's just whatever insecurities or not even insecurities, just you're thinking of how things are.
Yeah.
But it feels that as though you're always, you're Dennis. That's Dennis and Charlotte's son, or that's Little Darnell. Even though I never been Little Darnell, but that's Little Darnell. That's just Little Darnell,
Right.
and
you
it doesn't
get to
feel
reinvent
like
yourself. That's the word. You get to reinvent. You get to change your life and make it look the way you want it to look.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, I feel like it can help you if you were in a rut of you just want to be more creative, or you just want to stop being inside of a little box. I think
around certain people doing certain things, you have to remove yourself from some of these spaces, because sometimes you are a big dreamer, but you're surrounded around people that don't dream big. Maybe you have big faith, and there are people around you that don't. And whether we realize it or not, no matter how big we dream or how much faith we have, if you're surrounded around people that don't, it can drain you.
I think I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I know.
I think sometimes when you do finally get away from your hometown and you've seen maybe things people's like, oh, you can't do this, or no, that can't be done, or and you see it can.
Man, that gives you the juice.
It does give you the juice. Sometimes, and this is another benefit of leaving your hometown. Sometimes after going away from your hometown, seeing that what that thing is that you thought that everybody told you can't be done, you see it can be done. You can go back. and be fresh. Come back with new ideas.
You got the juice
fresh.
now.
You do. You're able to see certain things that even people that's been in it. When
Yeah.
you're in something, you just can't. When somebody goes to the bathroom, and maybe this is taking a turn, but somebody goes to the bathroom, you're in the bathroom, so it stops stinking.
Right, because you're in it.
Because you're in it.
When you step out and you go back
Soon
in,
as you
you're like, it's stinking here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's
and that's the
good.
thing. So some people that's been in that bathroom and have been stinking,
Yeah.
they still in there. You left, came back like, yo.
Y'all stink.
Yeah, or what? Not even that. Not, and we'll just take it away from stink.
Yeah.
But we'll say it is like, man, this is fresh. I've seen this can be all it takes is this. You change this one thing. It's like you step back. You could take a step back, and when you step back, when you're in a puzzle and you can only see a couple of the pieces,
Right.
you can only see this much. But if I step back and turn my head, look like, oh wait.
It's so
Oh,
good.
we can get this. All it takes is move this here and move that
That is
there.
good.
And I think it is good. I think it is fresh.
Man.
I think it's even if you want your hometown to be the place you live forever, maybe it's not leaving your hometown permanently, but it's
Yeah.
getting away for a couple of months.
It's getting away. It might be moving to a different city.
Maybe it's moving to a
I
different
moved
city
from,
in your hometown.
if you've been in Atlanta, this might sound familiar, but I moved from Decatur to Sandy Springs.
Yeah.
That was completely different.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a different environment. It was about, with traffic, maybe about 45 minutes, an hour away from where I was from.
Yeah.
But I think even for me, I believe that was a step.
Yeah.
It wasn't just leaving my state right away. It was God moving me to a different city,
Yeah.
so that I can see, okay, I can operate without being so close to everybody.
Yeah.
And I still had that moment of, I appreciate when my family came together. I was still grateful for that time because you're not driving an hour away every day.
Yeah. No, that's
But,
super true.
Sometimes it's just that small step of changing the city that you're in.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you. When you leave, you come and you go back, you have fresh eyes.
Yeah. And now knowing sometimes you have fresh eyes, you come back super hyped with the fresh
Yeah.
eyes. Everybody, some people not gonna like it.
I was just about to say that.
Some people
Because when I went away the first time we went to Arizona. I had never left before. And so I will be 100% hot and say I was homesick. Because although I had some very exciting moments and I loved Arizona, I was homesick a lot. And I was feeling like I was missing out on what my family was doing or what my friends were doing. And I just felt like I was missing out. And so we had a moment, maybe a year, where we end up going back to Atlanta to deal with some things. But when I went back, and I feel like God used that because God will use everything. He allowed that opportunity for me to go back to see, you ain't missing nothing.
Yeah.
You're not missing nothing. Go and live your life. Everything's okay. Your family's good. Everybody's good. You're not missing anything. Move forward. And I needed that, I think, before we got to LA and all these other places. Because now I'm like, I ain't missing nothing. Y'all come visit me, or I come visit y'all. But I needed that moment to see that I saw that I had grown a lot. And there were a lot of things I just didn't want to partake in anymore. And it made me see that I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we feel like that when we're away, but you won't be missing anything.
Yeah. And I think it's also seasons of life.
Yeah.
Now we live in Florida. We're a little closer to Atlanta.
Yeah.
In this season, we feel like, we want to be able to get to our family a little bit faster.
Right.
Living on the West Coast,
We have
not everyone could come visit.
and plane tickets were a lot more expensive after COVID, and now we got nieces and nephews and godchildren that we want to be a part as much as we can of them growing up and their special moments.
Yeah.
We want to be there. A FaceTime sometimes okay, but we want to be present as much as we can, and we want them to be able to come and visit us.
Yeah.
And not be super far away. So I think, like you said, there are seasons.
Yeah. That gives me another benefit of leaving your hometown. It gives your family somewhere to visit. Maybe they've never been.
It does. Because let me tell you, shout out to my mama. She will visit anywhere we go. And I love it because it gives her something to do and somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And she gets to experience all of the fun, cool things that I've experienced
Yeah.
and that me and her had never experienced before. So anytime, we're trying to always find something cool to do when our family comes to visit, because we just want them to experience, the exploring that we do and stuff like that. But it gives your family and your nieces and nephews and all of that somewhere to visit.
I think for your mom, I think she was just a hard worker.
Yeah.
She worked
Yeah.
hard, and I don't even know that she went on a whole lot of vacations before.
Yeah.
So it's funny, it's crazy when we moved. She was like, sometimes she was like, I would always have somewhere to take her to that she'd never been. So in Phoenix, and then I took her, or when we were in Phoenix, I took her to Vegas, and then when next time she came, we took her to L.A., and next time she came, took her to Sedona. Then it got a while. After a while, she was like, Darnell, I just want to stay in Phoenix
she didn't
with
wanna go
y'all.
nowhere.
I ain't got to go nowhere. Can we just stay in Phoenix with y'all?
But we were so excited about places that we were finding.
It felt like Aladdin. Like, I want to show you
I want
the
to
world.
show you. But I think we were just so excited, and we're still excited about places that we find, and we just want anybody that comes to visit to experience what we find and what we do.
I get excited about showing people new experiences.
Yes, that's our thing.
And seeing it through fresh eyes is super cool. When I know that somebody hasn't done or hasn't tried this thing or hasn't, I'm like, ooh, I want to take you, and they appreciate it. Yeah, I want to take you to try this. I want to, so I took my nieces to Korean corn dogs. That's another thing I was like, and they weren't as lit as I was trying to, like, oh, y'all gonna love this. Y'all gonna love. They was like, one of my oldest niece said, so it's just a giant cheese stick. And I was like, that is so disrespectful. But they love the beach. But no, and so even when everybody doesn't like the experience that you take them to, it's still cool seeing it. To me, it's still cool seeing it through fresh eyes. It's still so worth it.
Right.
And to be able to provide a new experience.
Yeah.
And hey, some people have to try things, or some people come visit like, I love Atlanta. Yeah, like I could live here. Some people came to visit us in summertime, like, oh yeah, I could never live in Phoenix.
Yeah, 120 degree
This is
weather.
ridiculous. We can't even go outside. And so if some people like, this makes me love Atlanta even more. But it's just different. I like to experience different things. And like I said, there's different seasons. You get different seasons of life where you're like, I want to be gone. I want to be gone. We're cool. We're cool with being closer now. We're cool. What Florida is we're a 5 to 6 hour drive from our family. And it's good. We love being able to be closer, but I'll still have our independence at the same time.
Yeah. And so I think those were a lot of when we talked about it amongst each other, those were a lot of the benefits. But all in all, I just want to say, if it's something that God is calling you to do, He's going to take care of you. He's going to provide. He's going to guide you and lead you and send the right people your way. And just He will be with you if you are like, I feel like God's called me to do this, but I'm scared. That is normal. But I think the true faith part of it is pushing and taking the first step anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe this is your sign that it's time to prepare to move.
Go.
It's gonna be it's gonna be good.
Hey, 2024, the year of the go.
That's good.
I just made that up. Hey,
now I want to
freestyle.
say this. I want to be realistic and say this. It's not gonna always be easy.
Oh, never.
It's not. It's not. There were, like I said, we've had ups and downs, mountains and valleys. But I will say, God is the God of the mountain and the God of the valley. Yeah. So even when you have those down moments, there are still lessons to learn. It is growing you, making you stronger. So don't regret it. There were times where I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I leave? This is hard. But it is a hard, beautiful, it's just, it's still so beautiful. I don't regret not even a little bit leaving my hometown.
No, I don't regret.
Neither
time moving to Phoenix.
We've
No time moving to LA.
I don't regret it.
Yeah.
In the moment, sometimes I do because the transition is hard. Change is just hard anyway, in general. But I think the change and that hard was worth it versus me still being stuck and staying in the same place and not experiencing the things that I've experienced. And I have grown. I mean, I've grown so much in these last, I don't know, how many years?
Yeah,
10, 7, I don't know.
Ever
since we've been married, we've been moving.
I think I would not be the man I am today. I would not know the things that I know today. I would not if I would have stayed and never left. I've learned so much every time. And in every move I've learned so much. And that's professionally, that's spiritually, that's in our relationally. I've learned so much. Like, oh man, this taught me this. Oh man, this taught me this.
Yeah, I don't regret it.
Yeah,
I don't regret it. And you won't either. Again, like I said, it's not going to be easy.
Go 2024.
2024 is the year of the go. Go start researching that place that God's placed on your heart. Start praying. If you like, I need to move. I don't know where to go. Start asking the Lord to reveal some things to you. And I move in faith.
Yes.
You got to start. If you're like, okay, I think like start packing in faith. Start doing whatever you got to do by faith, and God will meet you in these places. I know one thing I've learned on these journeys is I gotta take these one step at a time. I can't just sit and be like, God, I know you tell me to do this and just sit on it. No, you gotta take steps.
Yeah.
You gotta take one small step at a time. So
if you need help relocating and moving to a new town, send us questions. Send us an email. Hit us up on social media. Send us a message. Because we have so much experience with it. It's funny when I got to Florida and I told people, oh yeah, I lived in Arizona for a little bit, moved to Atlanta, moved to LA, and it's like, oh, you military? It's like, first of all, do I look like I'm military?
Military. We just following where the Lord is leading
we follow where the Lord led us. And it's crazy. It's been a blessing. And we, this got birthed in the moving.
Yep.
This podcast got birthed in the moving and live in one of the places that we were living.
Yeah, sure did.
Hey.
So if you have questions, you can message us on social. Email is info@faithunlimited.com.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he ain't know that. We got an email.
Okay.
info@faithunlimited.com, or find us on Instagram. Send us a DM, comment here if there are going to be some comments. I don't know yet, but yeah, we want to help you guys because I just believe that if it's something God's calling you to do, then there's something in that place for you. So yes.
Well, thank you for listening to episode 2.
Rate the podcast.
Please
if it's something that blessed you, rate the podcast. Share it. That is going to help it get out for more people to listen and be a part of the faith family. Make sure you sign up. We'll have a link to our newsletter so you'll know when the next one comes out and anything else that we're working on.
Yes.
But thank you for being here.
Y'all. Oh, one last note. You're not too old to move.
No.
You're not too young. You're not too old to move. You're not too old to find a new place and start over and have a new community. Look, there are people that are just like you. And wherever you want to live, there are people just like you. And I don't know why I just felt the need to say, you're not too old. You're not too old.
Because I think we put society and ourselves put time limits, and we tell ourselves when we're too old, we're too young, and the world says you're too old. But God stands outside of time. Mm-hmm. And ain't no time like the time he tell you to go.
Yes. So some of y'all might have some people might have checked out, but you stayed on just a little bit longer to get that nugget. You're not too old. It's for you.
Yep.
It's for you. You looking around, I'm talking to you. It's for you.
It is for you.
Move.
2024 is the year of the go.
Go. All right, we love y'all. See you on the next one.
See you in episode 3.
Peace.